The cruise industry today seems obsessed with building the biggest cruise ships possible, each boasting some absolutely mind-blowing onboard facilities. What if I told you that it's sometimes beneficial to overlook these modern, floating resorts and turn your attention to the older ships in the fleets? That's right, forget the water parks, the drop slides, the aqua theatres, the roller coasters, the ropes courses, and just about everything else in between. Because when you look past these attractions and think about the older ships out there, you might just find a few surprises. In this video, I'm going to tell you why I love cruising on the older cruise ships and why I think everybody really should be considering them rather than instantly dismissing them to opt for the much more modern, much more glitzy and more innovative competitors. People always ask me, do I prefer cruising on the older or newer ships? And the honest answer is that there are benefits to both. In this video, I'm going to focus on the positives of older ships, but don't get me wrong, there certainly are some negatives too. From a basic wear and tear point of view, if you're cruising on a ship that has been in service for 20 years, 30 years, or maybe even longer, you're going to find wear and tear throughout the onboard experience. You're probably going to find that the cabin has a shower curtain in the bathroom. You're probably going to find that the cabin itself is more dated. The lights on board might not be the really modern LED lights that we're used to now on the modern ships. There are so many things to be aware of if you want to think about the negatives of the older ships, but I'll put a separate video together on that whole topic because today we're focusing on the positives. If you enjoy this video today, and if you find it useful, then please consider supporting my channel by simply clicking both the thumbs up and the subscribe buttons. Now let's get started by talking about money. Older cruise ships can offer you some absolute bargains. I recently cruised on board the newest ship from Celebrity Cruises, and we docked beside one of the oldest ships when we were in one of our ports. I did some basic research to see how much it would cost to book a cruise on that older ship, and I was amazed to discover that the passengers on that ship had paid hundreds less for their cruise, despite the fact that we were visiting very similar ports throughout our cruises, and the cruises themselves were more or less the same length. I actually couldn't really believe it. Now, let me show you another real-world example looking into the future. I did a random search for cruises leaving Barcelona in June 2027, and I found this 7-night cruise onboard Explorer of the Seas selling from £680 per person or $900 per person. This sounds like a good deal, right? Well, just wait until we now look at a much more modern cruise ship to see how that compares. This might give you a fright. Here's another 7-night cruise, also leaving Barcelona just a few days away from that other cruise. This time though, it's on Legend of the Seas, which launched in 2026. 7 nights on there is going to cost you £1,473, which, at the point of recording this video, is about $1,950. In this example, the older cruise ship is going to take you to more ports, you're going to pay a fraction of the price, and would you believe it that you're almost cheaper booking a suite on the older ship than what you are booking an inside cabin on the newest ship. I couldn't believe this, but there's a £300, which is about $450 price difference to book a suite on that older ship versus an inside on Legend. Second, older cruise ships can feel much more traditional than their modern counterparts. Something I love about older cruise ships is that they almost all feature traditional-feeling main atriums, often with beautiful sweeping staircases coming down into the middle of the space. This is something that's often not on much newer ships. I guess that some of them tend to prioritise the space for revenue-generating facilities rather than providing open space. It's so nice on a day at sea or during an evening to sit in the main atrium and people watch and just enjoy the atmosphere. I love it. Third, Service can often feel improved on older cruise ships. This is for a few different reasons, but first of all, and this is a point we'll come back to throughout this video, the older ships are typically smaller ships. That means that there will be less passengers on board, and it's more likely that crew members on there will remember your name, for example. It's also more likely that you're going to recognise crew around the ship, and that therefore allows them to deliver what feels like a much more natural level of service than when you're on a ship with 6,000 or 7,000 other people. You can also find that crew on older ships have done lots of contracts on that very ship, and some of the crew love working on board that one particular ship. I've taken cruises in the past where I've been amazed to find crew members on there who have completed well over 10 or 15 contracts on that one ship. It really is their home from home, and my take on that is that if they love it enough to keep coming back 10 times, 15 times, maybe even 20 times, then surely I'm going to love it as a passenger. Fourth, some older ships out there have got some of the really popular facilities that the modern ships have, thanks to various upgrades and refit programs. Cruise lines spend an absolute fortune renovating and upgrading their ships as they age. This is something that when I started cruising, I didn't realise, but the more older ships I've cruised on, the more surprised I've been with some of what I've found. Did you know that Royal Caribbean have installed some of the features of their much more modern, much bigger mega ships on the smaller ships in the fleet? For example, I took a cruise on board Navigator of the Seas. That cruise ship does boast some of the features that you're going to find on the huge Oasis-class cruise ships, including an ice rink, the Flow Rider, which is a surfing simulator, and also a vastly upgraded pool deck that does make it feel like a much newer cruise ship than it actually is. Some upgrade programs I have just been so impressed with, because they really can take ships that feel a little bit tired and feel a little bit dated and give them a whole new lease of life. You'll find that cruise ships will go through upgrades every 4 or 5 years. They usually will focus on the mechanical and technical aspects of the ship, and they'll sometimes touch on guest areas, but occasionally every few upgrades could do a massive overhaul to the onboard facilities and also the onboard experience. So it's well worth doing a little bit of research before you book your cruise to understand if the ship you're looking at might be getting refurbished before you step on board. The fifth reason why I love to cruise on older ships is that older ships can often offer a more relaxing cruise experience. This can be due to a couple of different reasons, but first of all, you're not going to be as stressed to do everything on board because there's not as much there to do, and it's therefore easier to fit everything into your schedule while you're on your cruise. Due to the fact that there are less facilities on the ship, you can also find that there's often less upselling taking place too. On the modern ships, you can sometimes find that there are 10 different speciality restaurants, sometimes even more, and it's crew members' jobs to try to upsell those restaurants to you, to try and encourage you to go for an Indian, a Chinese, a Pan-Asian, an Italian, you name it. Some of these modern cruise ships have got pretty much anything on there. On the older ships, though, some of them might only have 1 or 2 speciality restaurants, so you're not going to experience the same degree of upselling. The spa facilities will often be smaller on the older ships. That could mean that they've got less appointments to fill, meaning that, again, the therapists and the managers aren't going to be out trying to upsell spa treatments to you, helping to make a much more relaxed atmosphere around the ship. The final way for now that these older ships can feel like a more relaxed environment is that it's easier to recognise and also get to know your fellow passengers because generally speaking, there's less of you on the ship. Now, okay, if you're cruising on an ultra-luxury line, then you will have a new ship with very few passengers. But I'm referring to the mass market lines here, so think Royal Caribbean, think P&O Cruises, think Norwegian Cruise Line, or even Princess Cruises. As an example, if you're on the older ships, there will be less of your fellow passengers there, and it's therefore easy to recognise people that you met when you were boarding the ship or when you were having dinner on your first evening, and it makes it a much more relaxed and friendly environment. Number 6, and this one I love. Older cruise ships can often offer far more port-intensive itineraries than their modern counterparts. There are a few reasons for this, but the biggest reason that I can see is that there's not as much to do on board, and therefore the cruise lines tend to get the ship into the port as often as they can, so that you've not got an entire 2-day window that you're killing time on that ship. For example, I've got a cruise coming up this summer on one of the oldest ships from Norwegian Cruise Line. That's a cruise in Europe. I'll be boarding in Piraeus, just outside of Athens, and that's a 7-night cruise that doesn't have a single sea day. That's right, I'm on there for 7 nights, and every single day is a different port. I already feel as though I'm going to be exhausted, and I think I will pick at least one day to have what I call a fake sea day, where I stay on the ship. But some of these older ships will offer you port after port after port, which when you double that with the cheaper price tag to begin with, if you want to see the world, it's a little bit of a no-brainer. Number 7, older cruise ships can sometimes offer you much better ocean views than on newer cruise ships. This one might sound strange, but let me explain. The newer cruise ships, some of them are designed in a way to almost make people forget that they're on a cruise ship. This blew my mind when I started to think about it, and I was having a conversation over dinner with 2 of my friends one night who were planning to take their first cruise. One of them told me that the reason why she really wants to try that class of cruise ship is because there are so many aspects that just look like a resort, or that just look like a huge entertainment mall type place rather than a ship, because she's terrified of the ocean, she's terrified of the sea, and she's worried that if she's always looking out at the sea, she's going to suddenly feel terrified that she's on a cruise ship. Now, I am the complete opposite, and I would much rather relax by a window looking out at the waves and trying to spot wildlife, or constantly out on deck trying to see what is going on around the ship. So the modern cruise ships sometimes don't really suit me unless they have been designed with views in mind, because I don't want to feel as though I'm trapped on the inside of the ship. The older ships to me often feel much more like ships. Yes, you guessed it. That's why I ultimately absolutely love them. Think promenade decks that wrap all the way around the ship, traditional wooden decks, open views out from all sides of the top deck areas. I just love the older style of ship design. But that said, after that conversation with my friends, I do actually understand why so many venues on the newer ships are much more enclosed. Number 8. Older cruise ships can sometimes offer you bigger and more unique cabins than what you'll find on the newer ships. Now, this is one that you'll find both sides of this argument all across YouTube and all across the internet. So many people say that on the older ships the cabins will be smaller, but on the newer ships they'll be larger. But that simply isn't what I've found in my experience. Maybe it's just the cruises that I've been on, but I've now taken well over 50 or 60 cruises, and I would really stand by the fact that on the older ships, you're more likely to get a bigger cabin. As the cruise industry has grown over the years, there's been a natural shift, in my opinion, towards squeezing as many cabins onto the ships as possible. Think about it. It makes perfect business sense, doesn't it? I recently cruised on a ship from Holland America Line that had just undergone a massive refurbishment. As part of that refurbishment, a function room was removed to then make way to bring in new ocean view cabins. I've also previously cruised on a ship from P&O Cruises, where my cabin used to be part of the kids club. They removed the kids club, turned the ship into an adult-only ship, and added a whole range of new cabins where the kids club previously was. I found that the solo balcony cabin I had on that ship was a great size. You might also find that on the older ships, you can search deck plans to get some more, shall we say, quirky cabin designs than what you'll find on the newer ones, because there's more examples of where they're trying to fill more awkward spaces on there. If you don't believe me, go and give it a try. Go on the deck plans of an older ship and see what non-standard rooms you can see around the ship. Number 9. The standard or quality of entertainment around the ship in general can sometimes be higher on an older ship. The newer ships in the cruise line's fleet are probably going to feature West End or Broadway style shows with the most innovative and most impressive theatre setups. On the smaller ships, however, I've found that you're much more likely to find more acts spread out across the whole ship rather than all of the energy being focused simply on the main theatre. This means that you might want to spend more time exploring the whole ship in the evenings or on your sea days, because you might find that what's going on in the various venues is more appealing to you than what you might find on other ships. Before we look at number 10, I'd really hope you've enjoyed this video so far. If you have, then please support my channel by simply clicking both the thumbs up and the subscribe buttons, and come and let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with any of my points in this video. I always say I'm only one person, so I don't know everything about the cruise world. I just share my own personal experiences and viewpoints. I'm sure that anybody watching this video who's thinking about taking a cruise on an older ship would love to hear from you as well. So please come and say hello down in the comments. Now, number 10, the final reason for now why I love to cruise on the older cruise ships is that, generally speaking, these ships, due to their size, can get into ports that the bigger ones simply can't. I've taken so many cruises on huge mega ships where we end up docking multiple miles out of town. We end up taking shuttle buses or walking for such a long time to get into town, and when we arrive, there's a much older and smaller cruise ship docked right in the heart of the action, with everyone simply walking up and down the gangway to go downtown. It drives me mad, and it's one of the pitfalls or one of the downsides to cruising on the massive mega ships, particularly in ports of call in Europe, because a lot of those city ports simply weren't designed to cope with the cruise ships of today. They were designed to cope with the much smaller and much older ships, therefore meaning that if you cruise on them, you'll be able to, at some ports, get much closer to the action. That's it. That's 10 of the reasons why I love to cruise on the older cruise ships. I really hope you've enjoyed this video today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have, then come and join me over in another video. Over here, I'm going to tell you about not the older cruise ships, but the smaller cruise ships, why I love to cruise on them, and why I think everybody should give one a try at least once during their cruising life. Thank you again for watching this video, and I'll hopefully see you over there next.